Coach, 6 practices in now. What have you seen out of Keenan? What are your thoughts on him overall? And I know he had surgery, a year or two ago. Feel like he's back to 100%.
He's not back to 100. Those high ankle sprains, they could go on for a long time. Those are injuries that take obviously a lot of time to heal from. But he's a tough kid. Movement skills are great. Very, very committed to learning what to do and doing it our way. I've been pleasantly surprised. Really good athlete, runs really well, straight line. Trying to take a little bit more of a leadership role, which I know is harder for guys when they come in from the transfer portal and they're trying to get with the culture of the team that they're in. But he's been really, really good. Look forward to him cutting it loose on Saturday. But so far he's been everything we've expected.
On similar lines, what do you think of Aaron Carter? What was his first few months been like, and just even since December, what kind of growth have you seen, I guess, in his game?
With the high school players that come in, we all understand that they should be finishing their senior year. So there is a big leap that they have to make with just even off the field, learning, where to be. Mindset, going to bed, first time away from home. So that in December, January, they're trying to work through that through our off-season program. On the field, he's been, dynamic. I think him and Elijah Herring are probably tied for interceptions in our group. He finds the football, not always in the right spot, but has that innate ability to make plays. And, that's why he was a high-level recruit. That's why, we feel like he's trending to be a, contributor for us next year.
Adam? So I understand there's a long way for Aaron to get from now to possibly playing in the fall, but are you open to that possibility? Could that happen, a true freshman getting a lineup?
You know how it is, especially with guys that come in mid-year. It's not being a true freshman. It's, are you one of the best 22 guys on defense or 40 guys on defense that are going to travel? And if you can help us win, take the year out of it. If you're mature enough and you can execute at high level and help us go win the SEC, you're going to be able to play. The freshman part doesn't mean anything to us. There are guys that are juniors. If they can't, play at a certain standard, we should be to the point they shouldn't be on the field.
Rob and then Rick in the back.
Coach, what kind of growth have you seen from Aaron Beasley?
Aaron, I think, we all saw how he finished the season. Always believed, he had potential to be an outstanding, football player. He's taken more of a leadership role. He's one of the, elder statesmen in the room. We have a younger room this year, and he's taken that leadership role. And the big thing with him, he's taken his game to the next level. Well, we need him to be more of a playmaker, kind of the way he finished the year. We need him to take that next step, and he's accepting that challenge. Like I said, as one of the elder statesmen, not just in the linebacker room, but on defense. And we like, like I said, we like the trajectory he's going in right now, too, as far as a playmaker and a leader.
Coach, in your opinion, what is the leap that this linebacker unit needs to make from last season going into next season?
There's always things that you can get better at. I felt like, run game wise, I felt like we did a better job of being plug and play guys, and we were able to be a little bit more efficient versus the run because we tackled better, one. And secondly, we were able to play off of the D-line in the secondary where we were able to build a good run wall. We need that to continue and go to another level, but we have to make more plays in the passing game. Didn't feel like we did a good enough job as blitzers, affecting the pass, and we didn't do a good enough job in underneath coverage when we were in zone coverage with the secondary. So that's a really big point of emphasis for us to take it to the next level in the linebacker room.
Entering year 3, is this linebacker room more like you had kind of had it envisioned as far as depth, and do you envision playing a lot more bodies this fall compared to the first 2 years?
I would say so. We have some more able bodies this year, especially, coming into the spring. If you were talking about an ideal room linebacker-wise, you would love to have 7 guys in that room touch the field, whether it be through special teams or on defense, 7 to 8 if you're where you need to be, because you got some young guys that are going to be on special teams and maybe backups, and then we always play 4 guys in our room defensively. So you should have that group that's going to be special teams and are going to be ready to play, and you should always feel like you have 4 to 5 guys that can step in and help you win at a high level. If you can get to that level, you'll feel like you have a room that's ready to go compete in this league. And I think we're getting there. Not there yet, but I think we're getting there.
Patrick. Coach, you mentioned Elijah earlier as one of the guys that's leading the interceptions. How different is he coming in a year ago when he was a freshman to now when he's got a year under his system, year under his belt, he played in the system, played on special teams? What's different about him now?
He's making a big jump. Elijah was a kid in high school that played closer to the line of scrimmage, was more of an outside linebacker. So he had to come in and learn how to play a linebacker as far as a stack linebacker, learn the nuances. Always a high energy, high effort guy. He's gonna run through a wall for you, but he had to learn how to play the intricacies of being actual inside linebacker. And you've seen the growth there as far as reading and reacting. Still has a chance to be a high-level blitzer for us. He was very good in that high school, and that's carried over. But he's gotten so much better. One of the guys that has gotten better with the underneath coverage, and has gotten so much better as far as reading keys and plugging holes as far as in the run game. We're very, very thrilled with the leap that he's made from this past year to this year.
We always talk about your players and how much better they get throughout the years, but how much more efficient and better do you feel in year 3?
Myself personally?
Yes.
You guys always get me one of these questions. Health-wise, I'm good. That's what you mean. No, I'm joking. I feel like obviously starting with Coach Heupel and then obviously with the defensive staff, with the guys, everyone pretty much coming back. We lost some administrative guys and some assistants, but the full-time coaches coming back, I feel like we're all on the same page, and I think that's starting to reflect with our players. We got guys that have been here at the beginning. They're 3rd year with us, so there's a comfort level there. Really feel like we're, like I said, got a chance to really be really good on defense this year. Obviously, we lost some talented guys. There's a lot of pro scouts out there today, and I know offensive guys we have some dynamic guys, but heard some great things about some of our defensive guys too. So we're losing some obviously great players for us. But I think with the staff that we have and just like I said, the continuity that we have, we feel like we should be in even better shape on defense. Coach Banks has done a great job. Thought he did a great job last year with some of the things that we know we had to overcome, and I think we can really take off this year just because of our familiarity with each other.
Coach, I'll ask you about a couple of guys. Caleb Perry, what specifically have you seen from him taking the next step?
Caleb is another guy, first year guy, almost like Caleb. We were in position where we had to take more athletics kids, maybe not the true stack linebacker. Caleb was a kid that played like 6-7 positions in high school, so he had to come in and learn how to play inside linebacker. Elijah Herring played closer to the line of scrimmage, so understood the physicality part a little bit better. Caleb played in the secondary and played on offense, so the physicality part was something he had to grow into. Tall, athletic kid, still learning how to play linebacker, but is getting better. Like we said, the room in itself is getting better. Obviously, we want to set a standard. He's not there yet. I'm not sure anybody is, but you can see the growth in him where you feel like he's going to take a leap this year.
And you mentioned Carter as a freshman, but what about Smith and T-Lander? What do you see?
They've been great. Arion, obviously, in-state kid. Came in with a lot of hype. I think he's living up to it. But Jalen and Jeremiah were 2 kids that committed to us early, and you can see the flashes of really good play from them also. Those were 2 guys that actually played stack linebacker and played it at a very, very high level. And now it's just getting used to the speed of the game, the physicality of the game, and with us, the tempo of the way we practice. But once those kids get settled in and can play, get their feet in the ground and go find the football, you can see the high level, playmaking skills and the ability to play linebacker in this league.
Leadership was obviously a selling point of Keenan Pili. Where does leadership leadership actually show up? How does it translate to better play on defense?
Simple answer, and I would say this for you talk to a Fortune 500 company, I would say the same thing with football. Leadership shows up when you're not in the room. When the superior is not in the room, the coach is not in the room, the coach is not around, that's when your guys that you're counting on in leadership, are they holding their teammates to a certain standard? All right, it's one thing to do it when we're all around, when we're out in the field. When we're in the film room, who's the leader? You know, when we're not, in Smokies, when we're not out on the field, that's where the leadership shows up. And, we always say leadership isn't always just speaking, it's obviously actions too. You always want your best players to be your leaders. Sometimes that's not always the case. In football, there's a certain respect factor. There's a certain factor that's going to make you follow people. So with Keenan, obviously he comes in, was a high-level player at BYU. He's come in here, he's shown traits of being a high-level player in this league. He's gaining the respect in not just our room on this team, so you can see that starting to form. But like we said, the leadership takes place when the coaches aren't around. Coach Heupel isn't around. Leadership is a culture thing to me, and if everybody's still rowing the boat in the same direction, those leaders are going to emerge, and they're going to be leaders for 24/7, not just out on the field.
Last question, Reese.
With that being said, who do you feel is taking on that leadership role the most in your group?
I would say Aaron Beasley to start with. Aaron's a soft-spoken young man. It's sometimes it's not comfortable being a leader, but it's what's necessary. It's almost like you got 5 or 6 brothers. Once that one brother graduates from high school and he leaves the house, the next oldest brother, he's the guy that the younger brothers are going to look toward. That's kind of the situation we have, and the standards that we talk about, it's easy to be a leader when the whole team has a standard and a culture, and I feel like we're getting to that point where the leaders are emerging, but it's not just because they're older, it's because there's a standard that they're living by and the younger guys have to follow, and we're getting to that point. But to answer your question, in our room, I like the direction we're going with Aaron Beasley, Keenan Pili. Can't leave Pat Garland out of it too. He's got some leadership qualities. But I tell those guys all the time, when you're out on the field, there's a leadership quality of just being a linebacker where these guys got to grow into. If the second or third group are, they're the ones that are out there, that linebacker unit that's out there, they have to take the leadership, they have to take the ownership for this thing to work. So there has to be some qualities in that for everybody in the room.
Thank you, Coach.
We're good? All right, you guys have a good one.